don't know me, I'm going to give you a quick summary of me to explain why I'm obnoxious enough to stand up there and say all the things I'm going to say. I started in music when I was 14 years old with my first paying DJ gig. Since then I've worked as a journalist, I managed bands, managed the largest CD shop in the Southern Hemisphere. I worked as a label manager in a record company. I owned my own record company. I released 34 albums, which included a gold album and a #1 hit and a few top 10 albums in South Africa. I ran a nightclub for 14 years. I ran a radio show for 7 years. And I've done over 400 live shows with small unsigned bands and also tours of South Africa with bands like Prodigy and Faithless. So I've over 30 years of experience in the music business, and I sort of have an idea that I know what I'm doing. Okay. I have a belief that things don't change unless people step up and make them change. Sometimes all people need is just a little push to spur them on. Sometimes they need a shove, and sometimes they just need someone to like kickstart the process. You could have the best band in Ireland, you could have the best songs, you could have the best musicians and the best live show, but if the system that has to support you is broken, then what you do as a band is meaningless. Now, what is the system that I'm talking about? It's a system that distributes your music, promotes your band, allows you to play live, to rehearse, to record, and to create. The system consists of pubs, clubs, the promoters, the CD shops, the websites, the bouncers, the door people at your shows. It consists of the music shop that sells you your gear, the studio that records your music, the graphic designers, the photographers, the video guys who create your images, the barman behind the bar at your show. It consists of radio DJs, music journalists, record companies, and A&R people. This system does not include your fans. This system is the interface between you and your fans. It's a system that's supposed to be helping you to reach your fans, and this system is broken. As we go along, I'll explain all the facets of the system in more detail. How are we going to fix the system? For those of you who've worked with me in the past, like Shoktopus and the other bands, I've got a very simple philosophy when it comes to fixing problems. I don't want people to come to me and tell me what the problem is. I want them to come to me and tell me what the solution is. I don't want you to tell me that something won't work. I want you to tell me what will work better. The world is full of people that are going to tell you why something doesn't work or what won't work. The world is full of people that will tell you what is wrong. What we need is people that will tell you what will work and how to fix what doesn't work. So I've got ideas and plans and schemes. Some of these I know will work. I've done them before and they work. Others might not work, but with the information I have, it's the best solution I can think of at the moment. I must stress that this is not a quick fix. In the beginning of this talk, I had a little sign up briefly that said, shift happens. What we are going to do is not just to fix a broken system, but to try and shift people's ideas of what that system can be and what can be achieved. And as with any change, people are going to resist it. People are going to shoot down the ideas. They're going to resist what you're trying to do. People are going to say things like, but that's the way we've always done it. Why do you want to change it? So, with everything that I've said so far about what the problems are, let's start on how we're going to fix the system. The ideas I'm going to present tonight are only a small part of the total vision. And I'm going to explain them in broad terms, not minute detail. Otherwise we're going to be here for another 6 hours. I've identified the 4 first main areas that I'm sure all of you will agree are a problem. And my solutions for fixing these problems. The 4 main areas...
I'm sorry to stop you. Can you just sort out the whistling?
Okay.
If you can just sort that out.
I'm trying to stand a bit back and see if that makes a difference. Is that sounding better?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The 4 main problems we have are information, live shows, distribution, and promotion. There's lots of other problems, but we need to fix the basics before we get to the finer details. So, the first problem is information. If any of you have tried to book a gig in Cork, or try to find a venue there, to find out how to play there, how many people does the venue take, how do you contact them? if you try to find a list of rehearsal rooms, or a list of photographers, or radio stations, or try to contact another band or a graphic designer, you'll know that there's a lack of information out there. So to solve this problem, I've created a central hub. The idea of this hub is not to replace existing things that work, but to link them all together. There are things in the system that do work. What you have to do is to find them, identify them, and make them work for everyone and make them work better. For example, if you wanted to organize a gig outside of Ireland, you could ask the Arts Council to help you with this. They've set up a group called Music from Ireland, whose job is to promote Irish music abroad. And the Arts Council gives them €62 million a year to do this. So the Gay Federation must investigate these groups, find out how to get our members to benefit from them. So I've created this website to centralize and disseminate all this information. I'll explain more about the website later as we go along and as we discuss each aspect of the system in turn. The next thing we need to do is, the second problem is gigs. What this country needs is a touring circuit. Most of you have heard of the college rock circuit in America. So we need to set up something like this in Ireland. And the way that the circuit works is very simple in theory, but it takes a while to explain it to the venues and the clubs and the promoters and to get them on board. But once it's set up, it works like this. For the band on the circuit, it seems very simple. You will, for example, go on a tour, play 8 shows in 8 venues in 8 towns. But the tour circuit behind the scenes is a lot more complicated, because while you're on the rock tour circuit, there will be at least 15 other bands on the same circuit playing the other venues at the same time. And there can be more than one circuit. There could be one circuit for rock bands, one circuit for indie bands, one circuit for singer-songwriters, and so forth. So I'm just going to explain one circuit as an example, the rock tour circuit. First, we find a number of venues spread across Ireland. Let's say, for example, 8 towns with 2 venues in each town to start off with. So, in the first week, Band 1 starts in Dublin with a support band, Band 2, on the Friday night. The Saturday night, they play Drogheda. The next Friday night, they play Belfast. The next Saturday, Derry. The next Friday, Galway. The next Saturday, Limerick. The next Friday, Cork. The next Saturday, Waterford. But the night that they start, the Friday night, band number 3 and 4 start in Drogheda on the Friday night. And they play Dublin on the Saturday night. And then, while band 1 and 2 are playing here on the Friday night, they will be playing there on the Saturday night and then switch around the other nights. So basically you need 2 venues in each town to switch around. Okay? So it gives you 8 towns, 16 venues, and you'll see later on how many actual gigs and how many actual bands get to play on a circuit like this. Just from a rough idea, once the circuit's running, if you have 8 venues, 8 towns,